everyone. Thanks so much for joining. Today, we are excited to be here with Eric Palm from the Intuit team, and we're going to be talking about our new partnership with Intuit Credit Karma to help you offer financing to your clients. So we can get started just with a few introductions. So my name is Katie, and I'm on the product marketing team at Houzz. So I work really closely with our designers and our contractors to understand how you're using Houzz Pro and get your feedback, and then partner with our product and engineering teams to make sure that we're building the right tools to support your business. And so a lot of the features that we release come directly from the conversations that we're having with you. So please, if you haven't already, don't hesitate to share your feedback either with me or someone else on our team, because it really does influence the features that we develop. So Eric, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Katie. I'm Eric Palm. I'm a product manager at Intuit, and I work on this financing product that we're just partnering with Houzz Pro on. We're super excited to offer this feature to Houzz and its pros, but excited to have this conversation and learn more about how you're all thinking about financing and how you're using it.
Awesome. Okay, so just a few housekeeping notes before we get into it. Feel free to add questions into the Q&A tab or the chat, and we'll address those at the end. And then we'll also be sending out a recording of the session. So don't worry if anything comes up in the middle, or you don't need to take any notes as we go through. We'll be sharing all of this. So today we're going to be covering an overview of customer financing. Maybe you're not familiar with it or you don't quite know how to offer it. We'll talk through that. We'll also cover some of the benefits included and how it can help you really grow your business as well as close more projects. We'll compare Intuit Credit Karma, this partnership, versus other options that are out there for financing. And then we'll do a quick demo, and we'll have plenty of time at the end for Q&A. So before we get into it, actually, I would just love to send out a quick poll to understand if your customers are asking about financing. So let me start that one. And then the other poll we would love to get your feedback here is if you're already offering some type of financing. So I will send those out as well. Feel free to answer those as we're going through. So before we get into the details of the partnership, I wanted to give an overview of the Houzz Pro Financial Hub and where Intuit Credit Karma fits into that bigger picture. So at a high level, Houzz Pro gives you everything that you need to increase your revenue, boost your profitability, and also simplify your financial management all in one spot. So that means that you don't need to juggle multiple tools or have multiple spreadsheets out there or piece together your own picture of your business finances. So within the Financial Hub, we have tools for online payments. Maybe some of you are using those already, as well as invoicing and budgeting. And then we also have business financing as well as client financing, what we're talking about today, including access to homeowner financing through partners like Intuit Credit Karma. So we've really been working on building these out over the last few months and bringing the tools together into one really seamless experience. So whether you're tracking your expenses or collecting your payments or looking at financing, everything really works together to help you run a more efficient and also more profitable business. So before we get into the details, there's maybe a question in your mind, like, why is financing even important for me, or why should I offer it? And one of these points is that right now, I'm sure you're not surprised, there's a lot of economic uncertainty. And so that's affecting how homeowners are approaching their renovation projects. And so nearly half of homeowners who have paused their renovations say that they did so because of budget constraints. And in addition to that, prices are going up. I'm sure you've seen this as well for materials and for labor. And that can also cause clients to either delay their project or just scale back maybe the initial vision that they had. But a lot of homeowners might not even realize that financing is an option. And so that's where you can come in and help bring it up and let them know what's available. And so by offering financing, you can help your clients overcome some of those hurdles so they can move forward with bigger projects. They can also move forward faster if they don't need to be constrained by figuring out where they're going to get the money from. And then it will help you get paid faster. And so having financing is really becoming an important way of how homeowners are funding their projects. I think even more so in today's market and what we're seeing there. So then, when we talk about financing, like what does it mean on Houzz Pro and how can you use it exactly? So the way that we're set up now, you can offer your clients these personal loan options directly on the estimates or proposals that you send. So clients can really easily apply there for financing. We'll show a demo at the end so you see exactly what that looks like as well. And you don't have to manage any of the paperwork or any of the approval. So Houzz Pro and then our partners like Intuit handle all of that. So you don't get involved with any of those details, any of the questions that might come up. And then once your clients are approved, they'll receive those funds directly. And so they can use that money to pay you as they would if they were paying with any other method. So you may not even know if your client is paying you through one of these financing options. And so now I'm going to hand it over to Eric, and he'll get into some more details on Intuit Credit Karma, as well as the partnership that we have with them.
Thanks, Katie. So a little bit of context on why Intuit has built this financing product, and really came from Intuit. One of Intuit's companies that it owns is QuickBooks, and many merchants or pros that use QuickBooks had customers asking them to offer financing. And so we, as Intuit, first launched financing in partnership with Credit Karma on QuickBooks to solve that merchant need. And so Houzz Pro is a way that we've taken that product that we developed internally and then brought it to you all to help solve your customer needs and help you win more business. And so Credit Karma is another Intuit company, and it is widely used in the US. So there's about 140 million Credit Karma members in the United States. That's about 40% of the US population, adult population. And so what is cool about that is those 140 million members have their financial profile available on Credit Karma. And so Credit Karma is able to match their credit with the marketplace of trusted lending partners. So these are companies like Upgrade and SoFi and others, to give those members a personalized offer with a high likelihood of approval. Because unlike traditional financing, where you're not sure if you'll get approved or not before you go through the process, you have a good sense before you do anything, before you run a credit check, any of those things, as a homeowner, if you'll be approved. And so that really has resonated with QuickBooks merchants that have used this product. And so now we're excited to partner with Houzz Pro to offer the same functionality. So as I said, and this shot on the right here is what this looks like when a homeowner clicks through the financing offer. Is the homeowner gets competitive offers for a personal loan. So these are amounts of up to $75,000 from a marketplace of Intuit Credit Karma partners. But then what happens is the homeowner would then, if they are interested, go through and apply for the loan, and then they'd receive those funds directly. And so there is no work for you as the pro. There is nothing that you need to do to facilitate this. This just happens on their side, and then they pay you, the pro, on whatever schedule you agree on. And so it's really easy. It's seamless. It's not any extra overhead for you as the pro, because that was one of the things that we heard from merchants on QuickBooks, is that they didn't want to have to go through an underwriting process. They didn't want to have to facilitate the discussion with a lending partner. They wanted all that to be handled by the homeowner. And so that's what we've done here. So there's a few things that is pros have really liked, and QuickBooks merchants have really liked about this. It's available to all US pros. So there is no onboarding required as a pro. It's on automatically. Secondly, and actually maybe potentially more importantly, is it's free. There's no cost to you as the pro, which has been really helpful and useful as Intuit QuickBooks merchants have used this feature. They really like that. And it's automatically included in the estimates workflow on Houzz Pro. So you don't need to set up anything. You don't need to do anything differently. It's just there, and then the homeowners can use it. And I think one of the things that we've seen is this really resonates with QuickBooks merchants that haven't used financing before because it's easy, it's simple, it's seamless, it doesn't cost anything. And so I think, and Katie, maybe I'm skipping ahead here, but it looks like most of those that have responded to the poll aren't offering any financing today. And that's exactly what we see typically with this is that it's not from merchants and pros that are already using financing. This really resonates with pros that don't use financing today. So just going through the list of why this is good and beneficial, we'll start with the pro side on the left, and then we can talk about the homeowners. This allows you as a pro to close more jobs and hopefully bigger ones. What we see and the data shows with Intuit QuickBooks merchants that they're able to win more jobs because they're more competitive and it allows the homeowner to pay over time for what are big dollar amounts typically, right? They're thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars. Many people don't have that sitting around. It helps get your clients to yes faster. They don't have to go and figure out if they can afford it. They don't have to go and figure out financing. They know right up front if they're approved or have what their chance of approval is for that entire project amount, which is really nice. This is another issue is oftentimes what happens is when you offer financing with other providers, you don't know if that homeowner will be approved until they go through the application process. And it turns out many people are not approved. And that's a very uncomfortable conversation and can really derail the proposal process and the job winning process. In Intuit Credit Karma's world, you can see as a homeowner your odds of approval, which is super helpful. And then offering financing is just a way to stand out from the competition. Some of your competitors may already do it, others may not, but it just gives homeowners a choice in a way to pay. And that we found has always been helpful from a pro standpoint. So that's the pro side. On the homeowner side, homeowners really like seeing the personalized offer right away. They know what their interest rate will be. They know what the amount will be. It's a fixed payment with a monthly term. That's really nice for the homeowner. The application processes with all these partners are very quick and streamlined, and the funding happens really quickly. Often it's the next business day. Sometimes it's longer, but it's very very quick. One important note is that once you decide to apply as a homeowner and get funded, then there is a credit check that happens for that homeowner. There's not a credit check required upfront, which is also really nice. And then the homeowner also gets to compare multiple options to find the best rate and terms. So, like I said, Intuit Credit Karma partners with a marketplace of lenders. There's 20 something on the platform today. And so you as a homeowner get to see what are the best offers from each of those partners or a handful of those partners based on your personal financial situation. Then finally, all of the personal loan providers with Intuit Credit Karma have a fixed monthly payment and there is no prepayment penalty. So say you have a 10% interest rate, you're going to be paying that 10% interest rate over 2, 3, 4, even 5 years. If you decide that you want to pay that off, you can pay that off earlier without any penalty. And so that gives you as the homeowner some more flexibility in managing your finances. So let's talk a little bit about how this should work and how you should talk about financing as you go through the proposal flow with a homeowner. One thing that we've learned is you should offer financing to all homeowners that you provide a proposal to. Because what happens is there's two different types of financing users typically. One is the person that doesn't have the cash up front to pay for the job, but wants to get the job done. And so they're interested in financing because they have an ability to pay for that work that they want done. The second is somebody that might have the ability to pay for financing up or pay for the job up front, but they want to extend the payment over time. And there's a variety of reasons they may want that, right? They may not want to sell stock they have, or they may have other expenses they're considering. And so what we found is showing another way to pay for that proposal results in a higher job close and job win rate. And so we found that merchants and pros that offer it at every customer, just as another way to pay. You can pay upfront with cash. You can take this financing option. It's a part of their sales process, and that works really well for pros that we've worked with. It's
Yeah, and
also oh, go ahead. Yeah, Katie.
Eric, I was just gonna echo that. I was talking to a contractor recently who was offering financing, and I remember her saying she was surprised with some of the clients who did want to use financing because she was like, "Oh, this client is a doctor. I would think that, they could sort of afford it up front, but regardless of if they maybe could afford it, they would rather use financing and maybe save that cash for something else." So I agree. I don't think, you shouldn't prejudge necessarily who would or wouldn't be interested in financing.
Yeah, completely. It's a great anecdote, Katie. And I think also there's another expectation with homeowners today and just consumers in general is that paying over time is an expectation. I think like any site you go to, whether it's Apple for your iPhone or Macy's for shoes, like buy now pay later and paying over time is a standard and a norm. And so many people expect that with every transaction that they have. And so this is a way to meet that expectation. Uh, and then also sort of either be as good as the competition or better the competition when you're trying to win jobs. Um, and then last but not least, it makes it really easy to explore the loan options. There, like you can provide, and I think this is a screenshot of the handout. Uh, there's a handout one pager PDF that's available on the Houzz Pro portal that you can share with clients to explain how it works and takes the burden of that explanation off of you. Um, but again, like anytime you have questions, you should ask us. We're happy to help answer those questions. Okay, so and Katie, feel free to chime in on this so through Houzz Pro, you have the option for three different financing products. The first is Intuit Credit Karma. It's a personal loan. That's what we're talking about today. The second is through Figure, and that is a home equity line of credit. And the third is through Green Sky, and that's a home improvement loan. And I think each of these fits a different use case and a different need, and so they're different. And so I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking through how they're different. And so all three are available to U.S. pros um, or U.S. Houzz pros, but for Intuit Credit Karma and Figure, you don't have to onboard. They're included automatically or by default in your proposal flow. With Green Sky, you as a pro have to go through Green Sky's approval process, and you have to be a contractor. And so that narrows the availability of that Green Sky product relative to Intuit Credit Karma and Figure. Similarly, both Intuit Credit Karma and Figure, there's no cost to the pro. Whereas with Green Sky, there is a cost. You have to pay what's called a dealer fee, which is some percentage of the loan amount, and then you have the ability to offer promotional financing by paying additional fees, which are called merchant discount rates. And that's another difference. A big difference between Intuit Credit Karma and Figure is the amounts. So Intuit Credit Karma are personal loans, and so that's between $2,000 and $75,000 based on the homeowner's credit profile. Figure, because it's a home equity line of credit product, it's generally for larger home loan amounts. So it starts at $15,000 and goes up to as much as $400,000. And so there are different types of jobs and different sizes. And then finally, how do the proceeds get distributed? So for Intuit Credit Karma and Figure, the proceeds are distributed to the homeowner, who then pays you, the pro, on a set schedule. Whereas with Green Sky, those proceeds from the home improvement loan are sent directly to the pro. And so they don't go to that homeowner. So that's the high level overview of how Intuit Credit Karma compares to the other options. Katie, is there anything you want to add here?
No, I think that you covered it pretty well. And as Eric said, they all fit a different purpose. So as you're talking to your clients, you can present them with like the financing options available. If you are doing this type of project or it's a smaller, amount potentially, like here's a partner who would be great for you. If you are doing a bigger project, here's a partner that would be great for you. So just keeping it sort of open as you're doing the sales process and talking to your clients as well.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, great. So then, Eric, I think I am on board next for the demo.
Yep, go for it.
Okay, perfect. So let me share. We just wanted to show you how you can access this in Houzz Pro, a little more of the specifics here. Okay, great. So you can see Houzz Pro there?
Yep.
Perfect. So when you're on the homepage, I'll call your attention to a few spots. So one is in this financials tab, that's where we keep all of our financial features. So you can see like online payments is here, QuickBooks, and then we have this section here to offer client financing. So we have individual landing pages for the 3 different partners that Eric just mentioned. If we click here into personal loans by Intuit, you'll see a landing page where we basically talk through a lot of the benefits that we just went over. So, closing more clients on bigger projects, getting paid on time, there's no complex onboarding. And you can go down and see, this is an example of what it looks like on your estimate. And then there's also the option here, if for whatever reason you don't want to offer financing, if you don't want it to show up, there's just this box here, you can uncheck it. So here we've removed it as a payment option. If you check the box again, then you'll see that we are now including it as a payment option. There's also this PDF that Eric just referenced. So if you click here, download and print, it will pull up this PDF. And this is great for you to give out to your clients. It basically just walks them through, why you should finance through Intuit Credit Karma, calls out some of the benefits here for your clients so they can pay over time, multiple offers with one check, no hidden fees, etc. And then we also have a link down here to this email address. So if you have any questions or your clients have questions, you can email directly here to the Intuit team, and they'll be able to help with that. And this PDF, I think, depending on whether you're in person with your clients or if you're just sending them an email, feel free to print this out and go over it together, or you can include this link into an email that you're sending them. One other way that you can manage offering this option is a payment method is if you go here to online payments. For those who do have online payments set up, you'll see here all your settings. You can turn on and off credit card, bank transfer, different payment methods. And then down here as well, there's this toggle for personal loans. So right now I have it off. If you want to turn it on, you just move that toggle, save changes, and then confirm. So it's really easy to control. So then when you are creating an estimate, you create it the same way that you would. And then once you have it ready to send to your clients, this is an example of what it will look like for them. So when they click in from that email, they'll see their estimate here on the left. Then if they scroll down here, there's this banner here. Of course, it's $88 a month will be personalized. If they're a Credit Karma member, they'll see a loan that's personalized right for them. And they can just click into it to see the loan options, and they'll go to a landing page like this. So they'll see, the amount. They can log in. If they have a login, they can continue. And so from there, they'll just be able to go through and set up everything on their own.
Yep. And just one quick note, Katie, and I didn't mention this earlier, is this is what it looks like for a non-Credit Karma member. And
Yeah.
so like I mentioned, about 40% of the US population is a Credit Karma member. Of the 60% that's not, there's about a 3-step process you go through to get those same personalized offers. So it's providing as a homeowner, providing your phone number, your email, and the last 4 of your social. And then you see those same personalized offers as you would as if you were a Credit Karma member. So that it's pretty simple and seamless to provide that certainty to both Credit Karma and non-Credit Karma members.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you for that. Anything else you wanted to call out here, Eric, on these demo screens?
No, I think that covers it. I think there's also an info sheet for the pro too, and I think that's another thing that is available in the portal that you can use to help educate yourself, your team, other people, uh, because it's financing. It's fairly straightforward, but there's always some nuances, and so it's just helpful content for you to educate yourself on.
Yes, actually, that's a great point. So in this landing page here, if you click on the learn more, that will take you to our help article. And so here we go into a lot more of these details. You can see some screenshots. And then I believe there's also a link to that PDF that Eric just mentioned. We'll add that in here if it's not already. But yeah, there are plenty of details in this article as well. Great. Okay, so that's it. We do have some time now. We can go over questions. I see that there are a few. Let me just stop my screen sharing here. Okay, so a question from Mike. Hi, Mike. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. So Mike's question, Eric, is if the clients are paying monthly, is the designer or contractor also getting paid monthly, or is that between the client and Credit Karma?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Mike. So the homeowner, when they're approved for a personal loan, they get the full proceeds of that personal loan and then can pay you as the pro on whatever schedule you agree to. So if it's all at once as a lump sum or staged payments, they'll do that. They're paying the lender, which is like SoFi or another financial institution, that monthly to repay that personal loan. So the monthly payment, you're out of the loop there. That's just between the homeowner and the lender.
Yes, exactly. So Mike, you'll still get paid on whatever scheduled payment that you agreed upon in the proposal or the invoice. And then I think a similar question here from Andrea. So is there a possibility that the homeowner could get the loan but then not pay the pro?
Yep. Good question, Andrea. Yes, I mean, that's definitely possible. It's the same as paying cash, right? From your standpoint, the loan proceeds are distributed to the homeowner. They would pay you just like they would pay if they're using a check or cash or an ACH transfer to pay. So there's always a possibility of the homeowner not paying, but it's really no different than them paying with cash.
Exactly. One other question, Eric, can you touch upon, again, like what's the typical approval time for a homeowner to get approved so they'll know like if they can move forward with that project?
Yes. So the nice thing about the Credit Karma interface is that they'll see high certainty offers without doing any work. They'll just show up, whether they see them automatically as a Credit Karma member or they provide those 3 pieces of information and see them as a non-Credit Karma member. Typically what happens is that they'll get approved right away within a few minutes of completing the application. Occasionally, it will take a day or so to approve if they need more information. So for example, sometimes the lender may need like an income verification or something like that. But that's not the majority of the time, but that sometimes happens.
Okay. Another question we have here. So can the designer or contractor see if a client was approved or how much they were approved for?
Great question. Not yet, but that's something that we're working to include on future iterations of this because we know that would be really, really helpful.
Yeah. It's funny, Eric, because I feel like I've also spoken with some contractors or designers who are like, I don't want to know, it's not my business. I just want to get paid. I don't really care how I'm getting paid. So I think probably for some it may be helpful, but for others it might not be as important.
Yeah, I think it's really helpful when you're trying to get a job closed, right? You want to get that work, and having that visibility helps. But I agree, like as I don't want to know what the personal financial situation of the people I'm working with. That's beyond.
Right. I just launched one more poll. We would love to hear what else would make you feel more confident offering financing to your clients, whether it's, additional trainings or handouts, anything else. Because we know, again, financing is sort of its own world that is hard to be very well versed in if it's not what you're used to. A question here from Amy. Is there a financial benefit to the design firm?
Hey, Amy, thanks for asking. So there isn't a financial benefit like a revenue share or anything, but it should help you close more work. And so that's the financial benefit of offering this. Oftentimes, there's actually, and this is what GreenSky does. You have to pay to use financing. You have to pay GreenSky to use financing, and so there's no cost to you as a pro or a design firm. But there should be a benefit of being able to close more proposals into to jobs.
Exactly. And then just one more question here. Does the contractor designer have to manage any paperwork, any approvals? Are they at all in that flow here?
No, that was very intentional. We do not want the contractor or the pro to have any additional overhead or work because we know you're busy managing your business, trying to close jobs. And so this is all takes place on the homeowner's side. So there's no additional work for you as the contractor or the pro.
Okay, great. One more question here. Is there any liability to the pro if the client defaults or doesn't use that loan for design projects?
Yeah, this is another like really important question. So thanks for asking. No, there's not. And so, as I mentioned with Mike's question, the the monthly repayment is between the homeowner and the lender. And so, if I mean, hopefully not, but if the homeowner were to not pay, that's between the homeowner and the lender. It has nothing to do with you or your business.
Awesome. Okay. Well, those are all the questions that I see. Eric, anything else you want to add?
I
We've
think just the one thing, and you mentioned this, Katie, is uh, this is a new product, and at Intuit we're investing in this and making it better. And so, as Katie mentioned, like any feedback you have or things that you want to see, please send that feedback to Katie or the Houzz Pro team. There's also an email um, for Intuit support that I get to see all of. So please ask questions, provide feedback because we want to make this as useful of a tool as possible for you and help you grow your business. So we really appreciate any and all feedback, thoughts, suggestions. That we that's how we make this better.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining. Feel free to reach out, and I hope you have a great rest of your summer. Thanks.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, everybody.